All right, we're going to go ahead and get things started. The official post-race press conference of Round 3 of Musquin and Seely Supercross in Anaheim, California. We're going to go ahead and start with the 450 class and open up the questions for 10 minutes. So let's go ahead and bring up third place finisher, HRC Honda's Cole Seely. And second place, Red Bull KTM's Marvin Musquin. And the winner of Round 3, the defending Monster Energy Supercross champion, Red Bull KTM's Ryan Dungey. All right, we start things off with third place. Cole, something about Anaheim agrees with you. You seem to always ride good here. Tell us about your main event.
Yeah, it's always good to walk away with the podium. Unfortunately, I had that little hiccup there in the middle, but was still able to come away with third. I really wanted to push towards the front and set my sights more on Dungey than settling for a third place. But yeah, definitely made some huge pushes forward this week, and really happy with my whole team and everybody behind me that's been helping me.
Congratulations. Marvin, you had a little bit of trouble in your heat race. You had to come through the semi. How did that work into your main event? Did the extra laps help you for lines, and how was that?
Well, I don't know, but all I can say it's you gotta do what you can do and make it happen. Yeah, we had some issue. Even Ryan, he had a crash, so both of us went to the semifinal, and but there's still quite a fight to the main event, and still prove that we can still, be on the podium going to the semi. It was a good main event. Once again, the beginning of the race, I was not as good as at the end, and I try to stay calm. I was trying a little too hard, trying to keep up with those guys, and Roczen went around me, and he had a big crash, and after that, I was trying to change my line, through that rhythm. It was really really rough, and then obviously Cole stole his bike, so it kind of gave me that second place. It would have been a good battle, I think, towards the end with him, but that's racing, and we were able to be second. And not too far from Ryan, but he was already gone, so it was really tough to catch him, and but good for Red Bull KTM.
Right on. You trail your teammate by 7 points. Congratulations. Ryan, again, the song kind of remains the same as your teammate. You had trouble in the heat race and have 13th gate pick for the main event, yet you pull the whole shot. What was your focus like going up there to the starting line for that main event?
Yeah, I think the first thing was just if I could get a good gate, pretty much behind and ahead of the gate. There really wasn't, if you weren't in that top 5, there really wasn't any good ones, but I was able to find one right on the inside. It was super tacky, really not very deep, but just a lot of grip and not so rough after the gate. And, man, I was able to get off when the gate dropped. I drove really well and found myself right in the first turn first with, I think it was Cooper Webb. And from there, I just tried to get the triple out of the rhythm and kind of start to break away. But it was tough. All day I searched a little bit. I will say that. Then the heat race and the deal and everything happened, but got off to a good start. And even the main event, it was tricky. I felt good, but my second half of the race definitely wasn't as good as I'd like it. But with what happened and then seeing the Ken's incident, and I knew the track could reach out and bite you. I had multiple close calls, so I was like, man, do we keep going after it, or do we be smart and tame it down a little bit? And so I decided just kind of let's chill out. We got plenty of room, and I saw where Marvin, I was gauged things, but for overall, with all the adversity and stuff that we had to face, I'm glad that we were able to come away with the win today, a hard-earned one.
Right on. Congratulations. We'll open up the floor to questions.
Ryan, talk about the heat race. What was the problem with the bike? It looked maybe like throttle.
Yeah, I honestly really don't know what happened. I didn't hit anything metal on metal, but just the throttle housing, the way I hit it or hit the ground, it busted, so my lines were hanging out and the throttle would stick wide open. I had to pull off. I couldn't salvage any of it. I mean, it wasn't rideable at that point.
Up next.
Hey, you might have already covered it, but just talk about even the start in the semi was bad. Did you feel like momentum was not on your side, and how did you get that fixed? Because then all of a sudden you actually got a really good start when it counted.
Yeah, we had a change we made going in from practice to the heat, and nothing to do with the change, I guess, thinking about it. But I got off to a decent start. Well, Baggett was on the outside of me, and he had the jump on me. He came over and started locking up the brakes. Well, it's him and the bail. So I'm like, well, man, I really put on the binders. And somebody coming from the inside of me, and that wasn't pretty. And then I made a change going into the semi, and that wasn't good. And so we just went the opposite way for the main event, and hope she works. And it actually felt pretty good. And I don't think there was a perfect setup on this track today. Yeah, but I got out. What helped with the benefit of that change though in the main, I got off the gate good and it followed the ground.
Cole, obviously with the weather, it's been being the way it has been. Scheduling has been a total issue as far as training goes. How have you dealt with it, and how do you maximize those days?
I mean, I think every single rider in Southern California right now is kind of trying to find the answer to that question. We took a trip out to Phoenix and did some riding out there. This week we just tried to get it in before the rain came, and I mentioned this on the TV broadcast. I mean, I think we all owe the Dirtworks guys a huge thank you. I mean, it's been so. I mean, the tracks have been absolutely raceable every single weekend, and I mean, with the weather, every time they say, it's gonna be muddy, and I'm always like, no, I have total confidence in those guys. They're really just, busting their butts getting this track, dialed in and raceable for us.
Cool, Ryan, your start, you didn't get the best jump, but your line through the first turn was pretty sneaky. Was that something you saw before where you could sneak underneath like that?
I mean, I that was my only choice. I mean, I was like, I'd rather be on the inside and try to get the jump and come over on the guys than be on the outside where everybody's going to start pushing. So it worked out good, and I think it was Cooper that was on the right side of me, and I thought I had it. I'm like, all right, and then here comes Cooper. I'm like, oh, and but I'd rather be second than buried in the pack, But got a good jump. That's all.
Hi, this is actually for all three of you. Ryan, you kind of touched on it. It's a pretty unforgiving sport. How hard is it to find that fine line of pushing, but being able to be there for 17 rounds?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one to answer. I mean, I think, even where I was at with outdoors, you're trying your best, you're giving it your all, you make a mistake, and sometimes it costs you, but then again, you can't ride scared out there either. I mean, you got to enjoy it a little bit, but, the pace is only getting faster. The riders are only getting better. The equipment, we're going faster. And the Dirtworks did a great job, and it's not their fault. But it's like when you cover that, the rain's got to go somewhere in those trannies, so it creates a little bit of a soft spot. And we saw it last week at San Diego, and it's nobody's fault. It's just Mother Nature. It's just what happens. But you just make a mistake. I don't know. I try to do the best I can. Like, when things at the end of the race were getting sketchy, it's like, well, I got to know, But then in the scheme of things, like I was at Lakewood, Colorado, you're going for it, and gosh, you just make a mistake. You're going that fast, and sometimes you save it, and sometimes you don't. But you hope and pray for health and safety for all the riders. So. Yeah, gosh, it's a tough question. I hate to see stuff like that happen tonight. I don't sit here like, wow, that's, I more hope he's okay. I don't wish that upon nobody, and especially the sport. We need him. We need a guy like that. So it's unfortunate at times, but let's hope he's okay too. It's not like he's down and out. Hopefully he's okay too. So in that context, but yeah, you guys want to touch on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think Ryan's the most qualified to really answer that question. I mean, he's the most consistent, and even he struggles to answer that. So it's tough. I mean, you go walk the track right now, and it's absolutely amazing that our bikes can make it through that kind of stuff. So I don't know. It's a gamble for sure. Even the last 2 laps for me out there, I kind of backed it down and rode it in just because it was hectic. But yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's part of the sport, though.
Yeah, I mean, I knew what happened. I thought what happened to Kenny on that triple, and I got a bad kicker for 2 laps in a row, and then I switched my line. I mean, I did a different rhythm through there to avoid that specific takeoff, and but yeah, I mean, we were rolling the section and going by Kenny for a couple laps, and man, it's hard. I mean, it's hard to see because you see him, laying down and not moving, and I mean, it gets you in your head, and and the rest of the lap, I mean, you think about it. I mean, I was looking over the finish line and see he was getting up, and also you never know. I thought we were gonna get red flag too, at one point. So yeah, it's tough to see. I mean, anybody, when it goes down. So track was really challenging, and like Ryan said, the bikes are better, and we are practicing and training really hard, trying to be better, and everybody wants to win, and we're pushing so hard. So. And yeah, sometimes we make mistakes, and sometimes we get lucky, we don't crash, and sometimes we do crash. So, well, like I said, yeah, I try to play a little bit safer, but still going fast and doing a different rhythm section. So, yeah, well, yeah, hope Kenny is okay. And like you said, yeah, we need a guy like that. It's good for the sport, good racing, but it'd be good anyway.
And for Marvin and Cole. Both of you each week have been getting a little closer and a little closer and a little closer. What have you been doing specifically to try and narrow the gap to Ryan and Roczen last week? And
Well, I think we've been, like I said, everybody's training really hard during the week, during the off season, and trying to be more comfortable on the bikes and with the setup, with physically too, and strength and. Everybody has a trainer now, and everybody has a, solid program, and, I train with Ryan a lot, and, we're getting closer, and which is good, For last year was really tough, and for my first and rookie year on the 450, but now I feel like I'm doing better, and yeah, we'll keep trying, and it's good, but it's a lot of fun. I mean. It's a good challenge, it's fun. There's also so many good guys behind, if you get a bad start, it's difficult, to pass those guys, because you could see practice. I mean, there's like a couple tenths, difference in between all of us. So everybody's good now, and I mean doing better and better. So that's what makes the sport so interesting and excited.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much what Marvin said. I think it's just a comfort thing. For me, we've been working on, fine-tuning the bike, just little things here and there with suspension, chassis, and engine, just small tweaks to get me a little more comfortable. It's always so easy to go out and lay down 100 fast laps at the test track, but once you get out here, it's a totally different thing. So learning that each race, and just learning to deal with the nerves, really. That's pretty much it. I've been pretty nervous these last 2 rounds, and just trying to come back and shake those off.
Okay, final question for the 450, please.
It's for Marvin. Could you take us through that crazy heat race situation you ended up down with Anderson and Freezy was in there and Mookie was battling? It was nuts. What was going on there? What did you see?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy, and makes me so mad. I mean, I don't want to get in those situations, but this is racing, and I just need better starts. And Vince Freezy is a good rider, a good starter, and he always gets ahead of us sometimes, and it's really hard to get around him. And I should have passed him sooner, but I was too shy. And then I was, thinking of the guys behind too. They were coming in hot. I mean, Chad was really close, and then it was Malcolm Stewart getting close, and then he got around me, and man, you ride so tense in those conditions. You're not yourself. I mean, you try to stay calm, and then you got Jason coming in hot behind, and I think he was behind me, and then he went inside and just tried to block pass actually 2 riders at the same time. But yeah, unfortunately, racing incident, and we all went down. And then you go to the semifinal, which is you don't want to do that, but that's part of the racing, and try to stay calm. And good thing I got Frankie trying to calm me down, and we try our best. And last year in Detroit, I went to the semifinal, and I got I got third, that in the main. So and then tonight I got second. So you get so mad at the time, but when it's over, you think about it, and I'm happy to be here right now.